the reality is that most of my watches are watches of things that I imagine doing one day. I have watches that I can vacation with, dress watches, more elegant watches, different types of watches for swimming, for possibly diving. But the actual reality is that what I do most every day is work. I don't go on vacation every day. It's really rare. I do have GMTs. I've never used a GMT function in my life. The reality is the watches that I actually wear are work watches. So today I want to review my work watches. My work, what I do for a living is I'm a maintenance supervisor. So that means that I do maintenance. I repair air conditioners, refrigerators, clogged toilets, sewer lines, electricity. I repair roofs. I do underground repairs, water and sewer and all that. So my job is really hands-on, really involved. I do a lot of painting, a lot of sheetrock work. I work for a complex that has townhouses all over the city, so I'm driving all over town and doing repairs all over. So my job is really involved. So somebody's work watch may be in an office, and they may have a really nice fancy watch that they can wear every day to the office, and they can have 20 different watches because every day of the week that they work, they could have a different watch. In my case, my watches are gonna be not the more expensive ones because it's so hands-on that I don't want to break a really expensive watch, scratch it. So my work watches are gonna be more of what somebody would call a beater watch or something like that. I don't consider these beater watches because I don't want to beat up my watches. I really can't afford to beat up watches. But if they break, I will be okay. So I'm gonna start with the watch I'm wearing right now. This is a Luminox. This is only a 36 millimeter watch. I have no issue wearing 36 millimeter watch, a 44 millimeter watch, 42, even a 34. This is a 46. I'm sorry, 36. It's a Luminox. It's a quartz. I am left-handed, so my dominant hand is my left hand. And anytime I grab a hammer or a shovel or anything I'm gonna be doing, or if I'm gonna, anything that uses force, I'm gonna use my left hand. And an automatic, I can break a rotor. I do. Some of these watches are automatics, but I try to take them off. And I'll be honest too. Sometimes I wear my other watches that I'm not supposed to wear to work. I do wear them to work, but I do keep a watch in my truck. I keep this Seiko. It's just a Seiko quartz, 36 millimeter titanium. This watch always stays in the truck. This is, of course, titanium, so it's really, really light. So if I'm wearing a good watch that day and I get off the truck and I need to fix a sheetrock wall or some painting or anything like that, I'll wear this watch. This is not a very expensive watch. This watch I can just, wash with water and soap, and it's going to be okay no matter what happens to it. So this watch always stays in my truck. This watch is I took it out of the truck right now just for this video, but this watch is always in the center console of the truck. If I'm wearing a fancy watch that day, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna lock up the truck, and I'll take that watch. So this is my first watch, and that's my second watch that I want to show you guys. Now, another watch that I wear a lot is this Tag Formula One. Now, this is probably not supposed to be a work watch. It does have a good water rating. One of the things that I do at my job is I have to check a swimming pool every morning. So I get wet. I mean, I'm not swimming in the pool. I'm just cleaning it and checking the chemicals and all that. But sometimes they do get a little bit wet. This has a screw down crown. It's got a timing bezel. I would rather always have a timing bezel on my watches because I do time things a lot. Sometimes I call a tenant and I say, you know what? I'll be there within 15 minutes. So I can always just, well, this one would have been easy, but I can always just set my timer and I'll know when 15 minutes is up and I should be there by then. So this is one of the watches that I wear. As you can see, my work watches are always going to be either a metal band, carbon, rubber, nylon, but they cannot be leather. Most of the time they cannot be leather. I work with certain chemicals, chlorine and stuff like that, and that's going to tear up the leather. So this is my first watch I want to show you guys. This is an automatic right here. This is a Seiko Land Turtle. Now, this is a beautiful watch. I don't just wear this watch to work. This watch I like so much that sometimes I wear it, anywhere. If I go to a game or anywhere I'm at. This is an amazing watch. I love it. I love the gilt dial. The only issue I have with this watch is that it doesn't have a timing bezel. It's just a compass, and it does move, but it's a compass. And that's the only issue I have with this watch. But you know, it's an amazing watch. Not very thick. It's actually a really thin watch for Seiko. It is an automatic, so I do have to be more careful with this watch when I'm wearing it. But this is definitely my favorite work watch right here. Now, another watch that I wear a lot, and I've had this one for years too, is this Citizen Echo Drive. And I just love the dial on it. It's really nice and interesting. I think it looks good. I do have it on a rubber strap. It is, of course, a chronograph. I mean, sometimes I time things, and I'd rather have a timing bezel, but a chronograph would work too. This is another watch. This is a 40 millimeter watch, but it always feels really small on the wrist when I wear it. It never feels like it's a big watch, even though I have no issue wearing 40 millimeters or 42s or 44s. I have a 7-inch wrist, so I mean, I can get away with a lot of different watches. But this watch always just kind of feels perfect when I'm wearing it. There we go. And you know, this is a great watch. This is a great weekend watch. This is a great watch that somebody could wear to the beach. To, you know, I think it's 100 meters water resistant. So I mean, you could do a little bit of swimming in it in a swimming pool. You'd be okay. Of course, nobody ever wants to swim in a chronograph because we're always afraid of that. If one of the pushers, you know, gets pushed in for some reason, and then I don't know if it's still going to be water resistant or not. Now, another watch that I do wear to work is the Seiko Presage. It's a nice watch. I've talked about this watch in other videos. The bezel doesn't move, so I can't really time anything with it. It's just an okay watch. It gets some compliments. It's a nice watch. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's just a Seiko Presage. It's got a good movement, decent movement, and I do wear it. Now, this is my Seiko. This is like the SKX, but for the US. And I have a video on this watch. I've worn this watch for years and years. I poured concrete with this watch. This is an amazing watch. I've worn it a lot. The only issue with this watch is it's just a little bit too tall, especially on natal strap. This is kind of a tall watch. My other YouTube channel is I have a few YouTube channels, but the one that I use this watch a lot, and I do home repairs on that channel. It's Maintenance Man Narrative. If anybody wants to learn how to, you know, fix refrigerators and stoves and stuff like that, I teach a lot of that there. You'll see this watch on that channel a lot, even on the cover page for that channel. This is the watch I'm wearing. I do have a video on this watch. And like I said, my other watch is the watch we talked about, this titanium Seiko. This watch just stays in my truck all the time. So these are the watches I wanted to go through with you guys. They're not the fanciest watches, but they are the watches that help me make money every day, because that's, you know, I have to work. We all have to work. Unfortunately, I can't wear my good watches to work. But I'm not saying these are not good watches. I can't wear my better watches, but I'm content with these. I think this is a nice collection for somebody that does the kind of work that I do, either even a construction worker or somebody that does jobs like that. These watches will be okay for that. Anyways, and I'm all dirty today because I just got off work, and I had this idea in my mind of doing this collection video. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.